Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome once again to the StarCraft 2 show on TGN. I am Darnoc, and this is just going to be another ladder replay from Millennium Stephano. I think this is actually from the exact same replay pack that I casted from a day or two ago, that Idra game, which was actually really good. If you haven't seen that Stephano versus Idra game, definitely go watch it. Stephano does implement a pretty insane strat in that particular match, but that was the past. This is the present. Today's map is going to be Entombed Valley, which is one of the new maps on the ladder. It's not super new anymore. It's been out for a little while, but still one of the fresher maps on the scene at the moment. In the upper left corner of the map, we have the red Zerg player Dream. Of course, that is actually Stephano, just playing on his Smurf, I suppose, on the Korean servers. And his opponent is going to be cross positions in the lower right. That's the blue Zerg player Leenock for FOU. Now, of course, that's actually FXO Leenock, since they got rolled into that team actually quite a while ago, but I guess Leenock never really felt the need to actually get a new ID. FOU, FXO, basically the same thing, just one different character in there, so whatever, it's close enough. And I am actually so excited for today's game, because as opposed to the Stephano vs. Idra game, where it was two community favorite Zergs, not necessarily the best Zergs. I mean, Idra I feel maybe slightly overrated. I mean, he's very strong, but I don't think he's really like a top 5 Zerg at this moment. He certainly does have the ability to be a top 5 Zerg, but he isn't right this second. Stephano and Leenock, though, definitely the top part of the top 5 Zergs in the world right now. I mean, Leenock, of course, an MLG champion, won MLG Providence, also a GSL runner-up, so that's a pretty sick lineup right there. And then Stephano, okay, here's what I want you guys to do. I want you to pause this video. I want you to go to sc2earnings.com, and I want you to go look at Stephano and see how much stuff he has actually won in the past 6 months. It's not huge in terms of actual prize money. Like, he hasn't won GSL, he hasn't won the MLG end of the year shebang thing, so he hasn't made like huge sums of money or anything like that. Of course, he hasn't made a lot for playing video games all day, but still. But if you just look at the sheer number of tournaments he has won in the past 6 months, it's actually pretty insane, especially if you even go a step further and go to Liquipedia and look at who was actually at those tournaments. Holy crap, those were actually all really hard tournaments. It's not like he's just been winning, like, 10 Go for SC2 Cups where there's, like, 3 or 4 really good players, and, like, basically he's guaranteed, like, a semifinals finish at the very least. No, these are actually crazy tournaments with some of the best players in the world, and he's been winning consistently against them. So Stephano, also a very strong contender, and I'm just so very excited to see how this game against these two juggernauts of Zerg kind does pan out. Now, as you can see, both players did go for a hatch first. Actually, I think they've done the exact same builds thus far. They are going to start forming a little bit of a disparity here. As you can see, it looks as if Leenock just built one extra set of lings. Actually, yeah, Leenock building an extra set of lings, and Stephano is cutting out one set of lings. So as a result, obviously, he's going to have 4 less lings, but he is 4 drones up, and he actually got his 2 queens up just a skosh before Leenock was able to get his queens up. So just very minor differences right now. Stephano playing a little bit more aggressively in terms of economy, trying to cut a few corners. Leenock, of course, playing a little bit aggressively in the other direction, trying to see if he can do anything with these Zerglings. And he does get 2 Zerglings into the main base of Stephano, and they're going to scout absolutely everything. Stephano has nothing to kill these with, and he's actually not even planning on producing anything to kill him, as he does have 8 drones on the way. Now, both players do have their metabolic boost incoming. They are both building baneling nests as well. It looks as if Leenock does have a 20-second advantage on both of those things, so maybe if he is very Johnny on the spot, he might be able to make something happen in that very brief timing. We're going to have to wait and see. He does lose those initial 2 lings, though, unfortunately. And he's going to start producing more, though. 4 more lings are on the way for Leenock, 4 drones as well, but he might decide to put on some ling baneling pressure. Right now, with the number of lings we're seeing, I would say he's just building those for defensive purposes. He'll probably morph in 2 or 3 banelings at his main base, and then just begin to tech up or possibly drone. But no, there we go. He does have 10 lings in that production tab now, so he is considering getting somewhat aggressive, which I love to see. That's actually one of the most exciting things in StarCraft 2, in my opinion, is watching the knife fight that is Ling Baneling Wars. It's super intense to play. It actually gives me a heart attack whenever me and my opponent open up like this on the ladder, because it's actually scary. But it's fun. It's very fun. Now, Stephano is going to see these banelings heading towards his natural with that Overlord. He does have a couple of very well-placed Spine Crawlers. Does have 2 banelings right now, 3 more on the way. Big explosions going down there. So it looks as if Stephano should be pretty safe against this. Leenock might be considering forcing the issue, but I'm not sure that's going to be a very, very smart decision here. He was trying to make something happen with those 2 banelings. One baneling hit is pretty good. The other just gets a couple of Zerglings. But once again, Leenock is really going to have to do something incredible for this to actually be super, super successful. He is actually teching behind this, though. He does have an Evo Chamber about to finish. He has a Roach Warren that just now started. That was kind of funny. So it looks as if he's not super, super serious about this. He's just trying to scare Stephano as much as he can, force him away from building too many drones, and maybe just force him to macro just a little bit more poorly, miss his timings by just a few seconds, and all that stuff can actually add up. However, Stephano actually has a huge amount of Lings and Banes out on the field right now, so it's probably going to be time for Leenock to start heading on home. Oh, a nice hit from his Baneling. No, he actually was pretty cost-efficient there, but that's basically going to end this chapter of the ZVZ. As both players now do have the Roach Warrens up. The only difference is right now, Leenock building 9 Roaches and 6 Lings, Stephano building 13 drones. He really wants to get ahead in that regard, and yeah, he's actually going to be 10 drones up on his opponent right now, so that was actually a very smart time for Stephano to drone, and that really is what ZVZ is all about, is finding those little timings that are pretty much different every single game, where it's safe to squeeze out a few drones here, a few drones there, maybe one huge swell of drones at one point if you're feeling rather confident in your defense, and that is really what does end up deciding entire games. Now, Leenock looks like he wants to start getting very aggressive here. If we take a look at Units tab, we see he has 14 Lings and 9 Roaches compared to Stephano's 3 Lings and 1 Baneling right now. He's actually moving them all into Banelings now. He does have some Roaches on the way, so that's going to be helpful. Both of them are researching their +1 attack. It looks like they're going to finish at the exact same time, but Leenock is looking pretty scary right now, as he has a very large Roach force, and wow, that's a lot of Banelings. I'm actually curious if he's going to just try and bust these 2 Spine Crawlers down. He might decide to do that if he's confident that he does have the Roach advantage, and he does a little bit for the time being. He really needs to get the rest of these Roaches over here. Unfortunately, they are just slow Roaches right now, so this is going to take him quite a while. One Ling run by does see exactly what Stephano does actually have on the field, and Leenock looks like he's going to start going for it. Oh no, huge premature detonation from Leenock there. Does lose a lot of those Banelings, and he does bust one of those Spine Crawlers down. The other is up, and Stephano actually looks pretty safe against Leenock right now. He just has a vastly inferior concave right now, and Stephano is actually just going to start chasing this now. He does have some Lings coming over here. Are the Lings going to be enough to turn the tide of the battle? It does not look as if that is going to be the case, as the final Roaches for Leenock are going down, and that's going to put Stephano in a pretty comfortable position. They're still pretty even on supply, but if you take a look at the sheer amount of tech that Stephano is going for that Leenock is not right now, you see Stephano is about to finish, not really about to finish, but his +1 armor is about halfway done, his +2 weapons attacks is on the way, and he even has Roach speed incoming as well. Leenock has none of that even being researched right now, much less on the field. Let me just make sure that's actually a good claim to have. Yeah, he doesn't have any of that on the field, much less researching. So Leenock actually is in a little bit of a pickle. Now, the one thing that he does have on Stephano is during that pressure, he did take a 3rd base, and that 3rd base is up right now, whereas Stephano's 3rd base only about halfway done, not even halfway done yet, a little bit before that. So Leenock is going to have a slight advantage in that regard, but still I would give the overall advantage to Stephano. And Stephano actually has a huge amount of drones compared to Leenock right now, 51 to 39. Ugh, that's not good for our Korean Zerg at all right now. However, Leenock looking to go for a very serious Roach attack right now. He does have 21 Roaches on the field compared to what is now the 21 of Leenock's, so he's actually just going to turn around, which is pretty smart. There's really not a whole lot he can do against Leenock right now. Leenock looking pretty bulletproof at this moment. Did I say Leenock was looking bulletproof? I meant Stephano. If I mixed up the player names, I do apologize. That does happen sometimes. It just is an unavoidable fact of casting. You mix up player names, unit names. Sometimes I even call, like, if I'm casting a ZVZ, I'll even call one of the players Terran just because I'm dumb for some reason. I don't know why, but it happens. Anyway, Stephano moving forward with all of his Roaches, and I think this actually might be a GG, folks. He has 1-1 compared to Leenock's 1-0. +2 is about to finish. He has Roach speed. Leenock does not. Now, Leenock does have a slightly superior concave right here, but I just think Stephano is going to have too many roaches. He does have a 5 roach lead. He does, of course, have the armor upgrade as well, so he's just going to power through the remaining roaches of Leenock. Leenock is bringing a couple of spine crawlers over here, but it's so late. I really don't think it's going to be that big of a deal. And look, they just get one-shotted very, very easily by those roaches, and at the very least, this is going to go down. Now, oh, these are overlords. These actually aren't doing anything to the 4th base of Stephano, excuse me. I thought that was a Ling run by I had missed on the mini-map, but no, Stephano looking as if he's going to take this game relatively easily. He does now have about a 40 supply lead. The broodlings are harassing his roaches. He doesn't care. He's going to come up, clean up the remaining roaches of Leenock. He is, in fact, rallying all of his roaches across the screen, and the Leenock throws out a single G and does, in fact, leave the game. So that is going to be it, ladies and gentlemen. Stephano continuing to tear it up on the Korean server. He is actually such a scary player right now. I actually think he's the most successful foreigner at the moment in terms of prize money and tournaments won and all that good stuff. So thank you folks for watching. I thought it was a pretty good cast. I enjoyed it very much, actually. It wasn't the most exciting thing in the world, but I really like seeing these top tier players face off. It's actually one of my favorite things. I take a somewhat mediocre game of top tier players over a kind of exciting game of lesser tier players any day of the week. I don't know about you guys, but that is how I feel. So thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed the cast and have not subscribed to the StarCraft 2 show, make sure you do that, because you'll see all of the StarCraft 2 videos that I produce show up in your little YouTube inbox. If you don't have a YouTube account, what are you doing, man? It's 2012. You should have a YouTube account. Make that right now. It's super quick, super fast, and all of those subscriptions to the show do help very, very much. So thank you, folks, for watching. I will see you next time. Bye-bye.